Thinking big will cost you nothing, but thinking small will cost you everything. That is the subject of this video. Welcome to Coaching for Dominion, the space where we learn life skills, pursue purpose, and have dominion in every area of our lives. My name is Victor Tibet. Our last video was about money mindset, and we looked at the thermostat analogy. Today we continue by answering the question, how do we increase the temperature in our financial thermostat? Or how do we develop the right mindset for wealth creation? If you have not watched the first video, please do. We have pinned the link on the description box so that you can connect the two. Now, there are several ways of developing our mindset for wealth creation. But today we are going to only look at two of them. So the first one is education, seeking knowledge, in brackets, financial education. Now, people make very big mistakes, very bad decisions when it comes to finances because of ignorance and lack of full understanding. You may have heard of stories where people have been presented with products, investment products, that give a return of 20%, for example, per month. That is equivalent to 240% return per year. And since they are limited in their knowledge, they don't ask the most important question. Where is my money being invested? Because if you don't answer that question, then you are investing blindly. You see, if someone takes your money and promises you a 20% return, they must get a return from where they'll invest the money that will cover their expenses and still also leave them with a profit. So even on the lower side, if you work with 30% return per month, it means that person must make an investment that gives a return of 30% per month, which is equivalent to 360% per year. The chances of that being a scam is 99.99%. Now, as we consume knowledge, our mindset changes. We shift in our understanding, in our thinking, and we cannot fall victim to such kind of scam. So you avoid losing money in ways that are clearly not prudent when you interact with financial knowledge because you become equipped. Another example is one of an asset. Generally, we know an asset is something that you have ownership of. You can prove that you own it. But as you interact with financial information, you discover that there's another perspective of what an asset is. And that perspective is that an asset is anything that brings you money. So if something does not bring you money, then it's not an asset. For example, you may have a car which you own, but this car you're using it for personal use, which means you are not using it in any activity that brings money. Maybe you're using it to carry your family to church, to go to maybe to the market and those kind of things, to travel up country, to move, to go to town and back to the house, to go for outings. And a car is very important. It has a lot of convenience. So I'm not against owning a car. But when you look at it, a car only takes away money from you. First of all, a car loses value. As soon as it leaves the showroom, it loses value. Over time, as years go by, your car loses value, and that is a cost. The other cost is if you bought your car on a loan, using a loan, the interest definitely is a cost. But the ones I want to focus on is the maintenance of the car, fuel. And the cost of fuel is definitely not as low as using public transport. That would be way much cheaper. There's another cost of insurance. There is another cost for repairs and servicing. And until you actually own a car, it is very easy to neglect those costs. But those costs become so real as soon as you own a car. Now, assuming the same car is used for business, to move from point A to point B, to see clients, to do marketing, or even the car is used for is leased out, or it is used for taxi services. You see, that car now becomes an asset because it brings in money. So as we interact with financial information, your mindset changes and you're able to understand other perspectives because wealth creation is mainly about cash flow. And so if your understanding ignores cash flow, then there is a big problem. You see, there are many young people who are still single. They are not married, they have no family. And for example, they invest in a car where they just go with it to work, park it from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., use it to go back to the house, and maybe go for outings during the weekend. And you see, they pay so much for that car costs them a lot, and it is money that is just lying because the car is just money that is lying and not producing anything. But again, as long as you know the reason why you own a car, that is okay. What I'm saying is, do not call it an asset because it is not. As when we talk about financial creation of wealth, as long as you're not using it to generate money. Now, as we continue to consume this knowledge, we get a shift in our mindset, as I've said before. Now, I want to recommend some books that someone can read. But before that, let me just emphasize that this is the age of information. Information is freely available. We have free webinars, we have podcasts, we have social media handles with very good content on personal finance. We have books, ebooks. So if you really intend to develop yourself in this area to grow your knowledge, it is so easy to do so. All you need is the will to do that and to do it consistently because there is no end to learning. So as you continue, you need to keep reading, to keep studying, to keep engaging with other people so that your mindset grows, the temperature in your financial thermostat keeps growing. So that is very important. So I want to suggest three books for starters. The first one is called Straightforward Financial Growth by Moses Mukisa. This is a very good book. It captures the concepts of personal finance, the basic concepts in a very simple language. The other one is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and the other one is uh, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. So please interact with this material as you also engage with others so that you're able to grow in your financial knowledge. My most important book and my favorite book is the Bible. And in Proverbs chapter 8, verse 10 to 11, the Bible says, choose my instruction rather than silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold. For wisdom is far more valuable than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with it. So we see that wisdom is more valuable than all these things. Which are these things? They are the precious stones which represent money or wealth. And these are silver, gold, and rubies. So, and these are the words of Solomon, the man who was the most wise is the most wise in the history of mankind, and is still the man who is the most wealthy in the history of mankind. And you see, uh, Solomon first received wisdom, and then wealth followed. But I want to ask you, do you think it is a coincidence that the man who is the most uh, wise in the history of mankind is the same man who is the most wealthy? I leave that for you to answer. Now, the second point on how to develop the right mindset for financial growth or for wealth creation is hanging out with successful people. Hanging out with successful people. They say birds of the same feather flock together. And you see, they also say that when you take the average of the earnings or net worth of five people who are closest to you, they will give you your net worth. That means if you take the income or the net worth of five people who are closest to you and add them together and divide by five to get the average, your net worth or your income will be close to that figure or will be that figure. Now, that is amazing. And it tells us what? It tells us that the network that we have has a direct effect on our network. The people around us, they influence us. So what do we need to do? We need to look at having people we need to examine our circle and see if we have people who are able to stretch us. We need to include people in our circle that stretch our imagination. If you are the best person in your group, then you are losing because the rest of the guys are most likely gaining from you and you're not gaining from them as much. But you need someone who thinks and who has experiences greater than yours so that they can inspire you. Because as you know, whatever you consume, you become. So if you hang out with people who have done great things, they'll help you to see that your dream is not as big as you thought. They will help you to see that you are not deep in your thoughts, just as you thought. They will help you to see that whatever you thought was unachievable is actually achievable. You will learn from their experiences. And even the environments that you meet these people, the environment by itself will just cause you to shift in your thinking. And you see, the scarcity mindset, one of the uh, characteristics of scarcity mindset is that people feel that there is limitation in resources. They compete. They are jealous about people who are making progress. And you wonder, how do you become jealous? How do you speak ill of people who are making progress, who are creating wealth, saying that there is no way people can make wealth of this kind, if not by corruption or if not by other illegal means? Yet you yourself, again, you want to be wealthy. Is that not a contradiction? This kind of people will help you with even with generosity, because generosity deals with it. It counters the scarcity mindset, because this kind of people, they are always givers. The wealthy people are givers. They just like to give in a way that is productive. Of course, they give strategically. They want to. They have what they want to achieve in mind. So as you interact with this kind of people, your mindset is shifting slowly by slowly, and the temperature of your financial thermostat uh, keeps increasing. So please keep up friends, the kind of friends who say you only live once, the kind of friends who say tomorrow will take care of itself. That is where your disaster lays. And actually, the Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20, that he who walks with the wise will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. So if you are in the company of fools, you are in the company of unwise, you are likely to be destroyed. You are likely to be lost in many ways, and not only in matters of finance. So those are the 2 points. Please read, please discover more, and thank you very much for coming with us this far. Please visit our website www.coachingfordominion.com to see what we do. Also follow us on our social media handles. We are on Facebook, TikTok, IG, and of course here on YouTube. Thank you very much. See you in our next video. Have a wonderful time.